Thanks so much for going through the first video. So we're here to talk about the second video to answer the pressing question on your mind and remind you if you already heard it, which you may or may not have, you may or may not remember, and that's okay, which is after I told you in the first video, we could get you married on the second date. Everybody wants to know, how are you going to do that? So first date's the podcast, right? Your team that works here is going to get you a podcast interview with those potential influencers, centers of influence, affiliates, referral partners, whatever you JVs, whatever you want to call them. After the podcast airs, they're going to get our magic tumbler in the mail. So this is tall. It's like a Yeti, insulated coffee, whatever tea type of thing. And the reason it's magic, in this example, Ross was our client. He's a financial advisor serving dentists, hence the name Financial Flossing. Joelle is a micro influencer in the dental space. So a week after the podcast airs, your producer will send this tumbler with your picture on it, obviously, from them to you. They will get it. They will be surprised and delight. They'll go, oh my God, this is so cool. Right? When was the last time nobody has a tumbler with their picture on it anymore. The only tumblers I have that are either company logos or the ones that the kids had, like when your kids were little, they drew art, and then the school fundraiser was you bought a tumbler or a mug with the kid art on it. Right? My wife still has all of those, by the way. I can't get her to part with them. But so they're going to keep this and they're going to drink out of it all day, every day, and look at your face. Boom. So that's step number one. There will also be a oversized postcard, greeting card in that box, again, with the same art on it. Then your podcast producer, a week after the tumbler and card go out, is going to send them an email and say, hey, thanks so much again for being on the podcast. Hope you got a lot out of it. Our client, John, it'll come from you, but John you're John in this example, had an idea for you based on something you said during your show. He wanted me to ask you if you'd be open to setting up another 10, 15-minute Zoom call. You okay with that? They will, 99 times out of 100, pretty much, they will say, of course. They do not perceive it as salesy because, one, you had them on the podcast and they bonded to you because you let them talk for half an hour. And then they got a tumbler and they're like, oh my God, I love John. Of course, I'd be happy to talk to John. Now, if you follow our process on that second call, which we will teach you, you don't have to word for word do the script. We will give you the bullet points. We'll give you the process. We'll give you training videos. It's not that complicated, but if you follow that process, again, at a very high percentage conversion rate, that podcast guest will say yes to what you're going to ask in that second call. And it will turn them into a referral source for you. You're not asking them to refer you any business. That's why we call this like the no ask referral method, the no ask affiliate method, because the way our magic works, which you'll learn, don't want to spill everything at once, don't want you to be overwhelmed, but if you follow that process and they say yes, they will literally promote you every single week. They will send an email blast out almost every single week that drives their people back to you. So that's how we get you married on the second date. Now, in order for that to happen, we need you to tell us who you want, right? Your team is going to give you Google Sheets of, hey, these are the people we found. You want us to go after them for you. You got to approve them in a timely fashion, right? If you sit on a Google Sheet of leads for 3 weeks, we can't produce any podcast episodes for those 3 weeks. So we can't get them on, and then we can't turn them into referral sources. So please be prompt. And then you got to actually show up and do the interview. You got to let us send the tumbler, the card, and do the follow-up. And then you got to do the second call our way. And you got to tell us how the podcast, we'll see how the podcast went because we're going to watch it. We're going to listen to it. The second call, I really, really need you to record it on Zoom and send us the recording and tell us how it went. Because if there's any issues, we need to know right away so we can fix them. And of course, on the positive side, when they say yes, we need to know so we can do all the build out to get them to promote you every single week. Now, in addition to it's not just the only thing. They do not only get a tumbler. They do not only get a card. They will get a postcard every month from you that we send. They will get a small gift, like a bag of popcorn, box of chocolates, a book from you every month. They will, if you're doing the magazine, they will get a magazine every other month. So literally they will get an email newsletter. They will be getting touched like every single week from you. You will be in an elegant way, not promotional, not hypey, in a adding value. Wow, I love what John sends me. You're John in this example. Like every single week you will be doing, they will getting touched by you. You will always be top of mind and they will love you and go, why doesn't everybody do this? And then you can send them our way. So what I need you to do, again, that's kind of a quick overview of the process. Just real quick recap. In order for this to all work, you got to tell my team who you want, who your micro influencers are. Not, you don't have to have names, but hey, I want accountants in Dayton, Ohio. Hey, I want attorneys. Hey, I want fitness gurus who coach on kettlebells. I'm making that up. You got to approve the leads we send you. You got to do the interview. You got to let us send our follow-up. You got to do the second call our way and tell and record it and get it to us and tell us how it went. So you can follow those steps. This will crush it for you, and I will see you on the next video.